So as I said, like you just need to go into the Postman and you can just import what I have sent. This is highly important, guys. This one, the package what I sent, the Postman package, you should keep using it because this is the major reference. Every time when I work with integration, I definitely use the same one. At least we get some reference, but never trust all this APIs because these APIs keeps changing. Not APIs, I would say the endpoints keeps changing, but this references is highly important. So if you see here, for example, the messaging. So if you see here in SMS messaging, if you want to send an SMS, so you can just take this and you can just here. Once you search this, you get the information completely. Why? So here in this rest, you can come and see this messaging here. So if you see here, send a message to recipient, so here you can use the same. So this domain always changes, I mean this endpoint changes, but rest of the things remains the same. So it's highly important for you to remember these things so that you can always pull and use. So coming to the SOAP, so if you see the SOAP, there are two ways. Either you can go and install this app and you can keep it. This is important because when I was working, people asked me, like when I sit and work with the SOAP team, they will ask like, do you have the SOAP UI? And so when I say, then they will give some XML and all those stuff, the visuals, and they used to do some testings along with me. So this one for developer perspective, you can use this. I'll let you know, but comfortably if you wanted to use, you can always use the Postman. So I'll tell you how to use a Postman for SOAP. So if you go here and if you see here, there are certain things like let me see, some data extensions, triggers, the same, like whatever is here we use the same. For example, let's go to the data extension. Here there is option called creating a data extension. If you see here, this one, there is already a ready-made SOAP, so which is we have some ready-made XML which shows how to create a data extension. So if you know how to use this, then it's highly easy. So here if you see the environment variables, here there is SOAP endpoint. We need an endpoint, we need a username and password. So once we know this, then we should it is highly easy to use this. So how is this endpoint, like where do we get this endpoint? So here whenever you when you go into marketing cloud, um, it is same, like you can go to apps, or maybe you can, yeah, I will send you this apps. Maybe I will add it into your org so that you can use it. So once you go to this install packages, so here when you go to your app, so here you see there is a REST API and there is SOAP API. So you get this, that is one way, or you just go to your cloud preference and you can see here on the user settings for your particular user, this should be enabled. If your app user is enabled, then only you will be able to do the applications. So here there are two things, one is SOAP WSDL, another one is source endpoint. So this is highly important because this one, why I'm saying important is nowhere you have the proper documentation how to use SOAP in marketing cloud, because very less people use this SOAP. So once you get this WSDL, this WSDL is fine as of now. You don't need to worry about this WSDL. For you, if you're working with SOAP, this endpoint is important. You copy that endpoint, you go here, and you can either populate it here and here. So instead of populating here all the time, so what we will do is you'll go here and we will go to environment variables, click edit. So here we there are certain things which you can put in. So here you can just add it, the soap endpoint. So here you paste it. So once this is done, and also the soap username is your marketing cloud username and the password is the same. So once if this is done, you can click update. So here once you update it, it gets updated. So for me it's already updated, so I don't need to. So once this all these things are done, you just have to access it, just send this. So once you are sending it, you get the response below. So here it says that the data extension is created. So let's see what is the data extension what we created. So data extension itself is data extension name. We should have overridden it, but let's see, let's go and see what was created. See here, if I search this, so the data extension was created with all these things. And if you just wanted to see like what is there in this, you just here take what you have done. So when you go and see here, so you have used your username, password, and all these are common. And here if you see, you have created a data extension with data extension name, and you have created subscriber key. It's same like a metadata how we use in Salesforce. So these things, this is how you can create the things, because these are minor things which is already present here in the Postman, so you can use here. And sometimes there is a way that sometimes they might tell you like hey come on Ashok, I don't wanted to, your company might say like hey Ashok, I don't wanted to use this soap username and password, can you please take away, because he cannot always, if you are giving to some external person, you cannot give your marketing cloud username and password to him so that he can use it. So for this reason what we can do is, there is other way of doing it. So if you go to this marketing cloud APIs, and if you see the soap API, yeah, if you see the soap API, you have all the documents here. And if you read this, you know, it's highly difficult to understand because it's too technical. So here if you see, there are two things, either you can use like this, either username password, or maybe you can use this one alone, that is just your access token. So if you come here, let's take like this, and you wanted to have access token. If you wanted to have access token, you don't have any other way rather than using your mm, REST API. So here if you see the REST API, in the REST API we have done this authentication. So how to request access token, go here. So you have to give your client ID and client secret. So this one I don't have to give it because it was already in environment variables. So when I got this, you paste it here, and this one you paste in the place of header. So here soap header is there, you have to put it as yes header, or maybe just put this fuel auth, paste this. And this time we created a data extension like this, put one, and we put data extension one. Let's try to execute this. Invalid, so because missing action. What is missing here? Yeah, this marketing cloud people they gives, and this is the problem, sometimes it works and sometimes this doesn't work. Yeah, for some reason this is not working. Let's see, not an issue. So Yeah, they say that we have to use it like this instead of using a username and password. See, they have a username and password, and they given the documentation like you can use like this, but I'm not sure, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But usually what you can do is you can follow the documents what I have given to you. You can just follow this one. And suppose if your marketing, if your soap user has like, no, you don't want to give username password, then try to give this one. So these people knows how to debug this, because it's highly hard to debug these things, because we are not this soap UI experts. If you are a UI expert, then it's fine. If you're not, then we really face a problems, because I don't really recommend this. But in order to know these things, yes, let's learn it. So then if you see here, there are a lot of other things. Anyways, we don't need to worry about these things, because we have all the things whatever we wanted to do. And if you see here, these are all the endpoints. So here they give these endpoints and they have given this endpoints, but basically we don't use this. What I use is, in documentation they have given this, but what endpoint I use is, I would just use, instead of this service max.asmx, I use this one. Like as I said, say I use this one. If you hover it, there is something like service.asmx, that means our domain. So I have used this, but it works. So let's do it like this only. So let's take this one as an endpoint and the username, password, and let's execute it. So, and if you come to the subscribers, if you want to create a subscriber, so here um, it says like you can create the subscriber. So here they have given something, maybe you can create a subscriber. If I execute this, a new subscriber would be created with this name and with this email ID. Or else if you want to retrieve it, so here um, there is a lot of things happening here. The entire function happens on this body itself. In this body it says that whenever the subscriber key is equals to this, it fetches. That means it fetches the subscriber key, email, the status. So here we don't have this, so let's see what if it is 100. So if you try to fetch it, see here, it fetch it like if 100 is like some, this is the one in our org. So let's see, if you again, like if you go to our all subscribers, let's see what if, yeah, see, this is the one it is. Suppose if it is like 101, we'll see what it is, and fetch if it is 102. So these are the minor things, but see here it fetch the information and the status for is unsubscribed. So it's like that only. If you wanted to if this is for tracking, if you wanted to track the opens, yes, you have a lot of information here. So using this you get all the information. You see, like, let's execute this. Now here they haven't given a proper thing like what you have to, because here it is greater than some date or something, so there is, it is throwing null, there is no data for the send id. So if you give a proper send id, then we get the information like what and all we wanted to. Or maybe let's not give this. No, I think it's gone some um, so this is one more. It's again like it gives all the information. See this one, it fetches all the information. So this is fetching all the sends, so it is sending the sent event, the client id, the trigger definition, and all this information. So here you get all the information like the results, the list id, the value, and all these things. So this is how you can communicate with soap. So you already have these things, and you have the data extension operations, and also the email operations, and also the list operations. If you wanted to retrieve the list, you can go here. See, there is like they have given if subscriber key is equals to this. Let's do one thing. Let's see if you send, you will get all this information here. Yeah, it gives, this is the id for this. So yes, so this is the list id what we have used. So this is how it is. You can use this, you can play with this, but if you want to go with some advanced concepts, and if you are really good in this soap or something, then you can go and work with these things. So if you see here, there are a lot of examples, and if you wanted to do some push notifications or something, we have a lot of push notifications. For example, if you want to create a push message here, you can, sorry, this is REST API. Let's see what is in the SOAP. See here, if you wanted to create this, let's go to the object operations. See, create a list. They have given how to create a list. See, when you go here on this create a list using the SOAP, you come down and here you have all this information. Using this information, using this body, you can use this because all other things is already there with you. You don't need to worry about this header and all because you already have this information. You just need to concentrate on this body. You just pull this body and execute it. You will get what exactly it is. And if you want to learn about this, you can learn because it's in a different languages. I mean, and you see this is in a different language and this is in a different language. So you have a SOAP UI in .NET code and all other different codes. So you have all the information. If you want to delete a subscriber list, you can use it in SOAP UI. So using this one, you can delete the subscriber list. Yeah, this is how it is. You just need to use this body. If you use this body, yes, it goes. So for that particular list, you can delete it. So this is about the SOAP UI. You can play around with this. There are a lot of things over here. And if you wanted to execute the same kind of thing in the SOAP, I'll tell you how to do that. Not necessarily important, but I'll just give a try. So if you wanted to work with SOAP, let's go to SOAP and you create something like create a project and you have to put an initial WSDL here. So for that WSDL, you go to your marketing cloud, go to your particular user. So here there is something called a SOAP WSDL. You copy paste this, but if you see in the documentation, they have given a different WSDL, but let's don't use that WSDL because we face a problem. Let's use the WSDL what they have given. You click OK. So once this is done, so you get all the folders here and all this information. If you could click this here, there is again there is a hell a lot of things. So what we can do is we can use the same thing here. For example, let's take some code from this postman itself. So here if you see in this postman, there is something called some retrieve operation. So if you want to execute it, we can execute this one. So yeah, problem is we have to tweak this. We cannot use this one the same like this. So how to tweak that is there is this SOAP environment. You have to take this SOAP environment, some data extension name we can use it. So this is trying to retrieve some fields. So let's take some data extension here. So I'll take this data extension, maybe I'll put this data extension name and it is trying to pull this information. I'm not sure if you have that information. Let's take the source, maybe this email address we can take, and where source equals to three this one. So logically this is correct, technically this is completely correct, but not sure like how this works here. Let's see if this works. Let's go here, take the endpoint. Let's give the endpoint here and username and the password. So let's see if this works or not. Here, no, here it's not executing for some reason. But let's see. Let me try here. There is some problem. Yeah, the problem is here. Why it doesn't work is because this has a different format. This one we have to append it with this. That's the problem. So here, if I take this one, it has a lot of. So let's see this body and let's see. Yeah, this one doesn't work here because of this. Let me try to execute this here and see. Yeah, for some reason this is not working. So the thing is, I'll send you some requests. Maybe you can follow this and you can use it. For now, maybe you can use this Postman, because what happens here is basically in Postman everything works, and if you see it works. The thing is here, see it is s dot envelope, and here it all this works with the aliases. But the problem with this in SOAP UI is it works with the different kinds of concepts. So it works with this. if you go with this, it works with the concept of this soap environment. So it takes this variable, and basically I'm not a XML developer to instantiate this properly in a right way. So that's the reason it is getting a bit of difficulty, but I will try to execute this. Maybe you can follow the same step. You can just go here, create a project, and in that project use the soap WSDL what I have given you, and also you can use the soap endpoint. And meanwhile, I will try to create certain this one some XMLs. I'll fix all these bugs and I will put it in the folder. Maybe you can try to execute it. Once if you could execute this one, then this body is something which is changeable. You can always change this body. And if you see here how to get these things are, you can just go here, take some, go to this data extensions. If you want to add a data extension, you come here, come down, there is a lot of code. You can take this, you can always take this body and you can use it. For now you can do whatever you want using this Postman, but this soap UI, I will send you some examples. You can follow all these installations and you can execute it. So this alone I would send it later, but meanwhile you can practice this with this um, Postman itself. So do you have any questions? Okay, anyways, no worries. I would, yes, please.
Uh, uh, Actually, what happens, Bhanu, is mostly people uses REST.